Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
Tranglo enables Ripple's on-demand liquidity service across its 25 payment corridors. Now, Tranglo is absolutely massive. In fact, they're Asia's leading cross-border payment specialist. So they just enabled on-demand liquidity in 25 corridors. Now, of course, on-demand liquidity requires the usage of XRP. And I've thought about so many things as I've been reading over this and getting all the latest updates on this. And one of the things that crossed my mind, quite hilariously to me anyway, is that the SEC is claiming that XRP does not have utility. And I sit here and I read this and I'm like, that's kind of curious. And there's all sorts of stuff to say about this, but before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so if you're watching this video on March 1st of 2022 or any time shortly thereafter, congratulations, because you're part of the fraction of a percent of humans on the planet that are paying attention to what's happening with the adoption of XRP. Things can happen very quickly, which I'll be highlighting in this video. This here is a big deal, but it's just one of the earliest of large moves that I think will occur with on-demand liquidity and XRP. And my investment thesis, like from the beginning, is that utility matters and will win the day. And not that means Ripple must have success in order for XRP to succeed. I do not believe that. I believe that Ripple could go away, and as long as XRP continues to be useful for other businesses and people, it could persist in perpetuity. And it is being adopted in all sorts of other ways. Obviously there's Coil, which has come up with a new form of web monetization. You can use a blend of Interledger Protocol and XRP to facilitate basically streaming money in real time for content. There's all sorts of people that are functionally increasingly, though it's a small percentage, I admit, that there's an increasing number of people on the planet utilizing XRP to pay for stuff in general. And there's other companies like Forte. I haven't heard too much from them in the news, but they're doing stuff with gaming, utilizing XRP. There's all sorts of stuff going. So the point is, as long as there's a healthy XRP ecosystem, it's not like it's relying on any one of these individual entities. Ripple just happens to be the most well-known, and for obvious reasons. But I'm just saying, there's a very healthy XRP ecosystem. Most people are completely unaware of it. Even many people that are in crypto, they have the Bitcoin maxi ideology, and they're just deniers. They're absolute XRP haters because it's they view it as something that is just completely antithetical to their worldview, and I think that's a mistake. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And so I understand that this has not impacted the price of XRP, and to my knowledge, really no good news having to do with Ripple or adoption of XRP has really done anything to the price of XRP. XRP price moves in tandem with the market, but don't forget, that's because the market is immature. Just think back to this. I mentioned this a couple times recently, but it's worth repeating because I think it's such a powerful idea and so worth knowing. Think back to the dot-com boom and bust. With Jeff Bezos, he was interviewed. It was a clip that lasted a little over a minute, but it was powerful. I can summarize it very quickly for it. He was pressed. Is Amazon going to be okay? Because the stock price has just plummeted. It went from $113 down to I think $6 or $7. And it was in that range when he was being interviewed, and that's kind of a tough question to be posed with, but he just responded. He said, "Well, look, I see that the price of Amazon, it's the stock price has gone down with all the other .coms in the sector that have, as the entire bubble." And I'm paraphrasing here, of course, but as the bubble obviously inflated and then popped, ultimately, Amazon's just moved in tandem with the rest of that sector. But what we're seeing on the inside is Amazon, all the metrics that you'd care about when you're running a business, all of those metrics are improving. And Amazon's actually doing well behind the scenes. And so if you're paying attention to this stuff, congratulations, because you're paying attention to the nuts and bolts and the stuff that most people are too lazy to even be curious about in the first place. And so, again, it's not to say this is all linked to Ripple. I'm just saying in a mature ecosystem, all participants are going to have an effect on the long-term viability of any crypto. And so let's get into some of the specifics here, because this is incredible. And so the first time that Tranglo popped up on the radar was in March of last year. Here's a headline. I'm not going to read this article other than 2 sentences or so. This is from Ripple's blog series on their website, Ripple Insights, and this is from March 29th of last year, 2021. It's titled, "Ripple Acquires 40% Stake in Asia's Leading Cross-Border Payments Specialist, Tranglo." Ripple has agreed to acquire 40% of Asia's leading cross-border payment specialist, Tranglo. This partnership enables Ripple to meet growing customer demand in the region and expand the reach of RippleNet's on-demand liquidity service, which uses the digital asset XRP to instantly send money and reduce working capital needs. And so I remember making a video almost a year ago, and talking about this. And as is typically the case, we're not privy to the nuts and bolts. We didn't know exactly what that meant in terms of what corridors would they be operating in necessarily. And not that we know everything now, but as outsiders, it's like, how are we? We're not part of these companies. Of course we're not going to. Ripple's a private company. They're not going to put forth so much information. That's normal. That's not some sort of harsh critique. That's very normal. It's good to see an update here, because the last update that we had was actually in September. But that brings us to this piece that Tranglo put out. Again, it's titled, "Tranglo enables Ripple's on-demand liquidity service across its 25 payment corridors." Tranglo has enabled Ripple's on-demand liquidity service for all its payment corridors, allowing remittance providers to process instant cross-border payments without costly pre-funding. This comes after the success of its pilot on-demand liquidity deployment in September 2021, with 250,000 transactions worth 48 million United States dollars processed in the first 100 days. At press time, on-demand liquidity transactions via Ripple's global financial network, RippleNet originates from markets including Australia, Japan, Philippines, and Singapore, with other markets to follow. So, folks, this is why I have the investment thesis that I have, and I have since the earliest of days of me being in crypto. And I've been in crypto since November 2017, and I'm just my personal perspective here. As long as adoption of any crypto, in this case we're talking about XRP, any crypto persists, and it looks like things are going in the right direction in terms of adoption, whatever the use case is, ideally multiple use cases, as is such with the XRP, but even if there's just one use case, if you're talking about an asset that makes whatever the use case is possible, a decentralized cryptocurrency that has an open market price and it's technologically sufficient to solve a particular problem, if that's out there, that's going to increase speculation over time by people that just kind of want to diversify, frankly, in terms of investments. It doesn't even necessarily mean that everybody that's purchasing XRP needs to use it themselves. Some will, many will, But if you're just an everyday investor and you're like, wow, businesses need this in order for these business models to work, and the business models seem to be viable, might I want to diversify? And so it's the earliest of days here. And this is not something negative against Ripple, but they've barely made even the tiniest little dent into global remittance markets. Almost nothing. But I don't say that to diminish them. I say that because they are dominating to this point, and to represent the idea that there's so much opportunity yet ahead. That's the reason that I'm saying it, not as a dig. I'm impressed by what they're doing, just to be clear. And then this continues. Ripple, the leading provider of enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions for cross-border payments, acquired 40% of TransGlow in 2021 to scale RippleNet and the on-demand liquidity service. On-demand liquidity leverages the digital asset XRP to facilitate low-cost cross-border payments on RippleNet. Remittance providers using on-demand liquidity will not need to pre-fund accounts, allowing them to maximize capital efficiency to grow their business. So again, if there's real utility here, businesses are going to do it. If this is solving a real problem, it's just going to continue expanding. And so we're at this point where, think about with Jeff Bezos, and he was saying after the .com collapse, he's saying, well, everything's looking good internally. The stock price is completely disassociated from the internal business metrics. Well, we're kind of at that phase right now, not where we've had the final crypto bubble inflate and then pop, although, that will come one day. What I'm saying is the crypto markets are moving in tandem. And I understand people get frustrated. In fact, here's a tweet I came across from somebody named Mo. And he said, and yet XRP hasn't hit $1 despite this news from TransGlow. Well, exactly. I wouldn't expect it to. And also, again, it's not reliant on everything having to do with Ripple's use case of XRP. It's a diverse ecosystem. But even though it's diverse here, even in 2022, it's just a matter of fact that, the market moves together. Here's Live CoinWatch. Here's the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap on your screen. These charts, if you look at the weekly charts on the right here, throw out the stable coins USDC and Tether, it all looks the same, almost exactly. They almost look like the same charts. Sometimes they correlate even more closely than this, sometimes a little bit less. But isn't that striking? I'm telling you, utility doesn't sufficiently matter today. Do you think it will always be like that? And so that's why it's so exciting to be here before people understand all of this. Because eventually there's going to be a run on XRP, and it's going to be worth way more in the future, I think. Now again, that's not me saying this to hype anything up. I've thought this for over 4 years, and I wouldn't have put my money in it if I didn't firmly believe that. And it's not just Ripple, the entire XRP ecosystem. But, and I'm not telling you to buy or sell just because of that. I'm telling you what I believe. And I am firm on this. Just like if you bought Amazon at $6 or $7, my gosh, what was it recently? Like over $3,000? So 113, then it collapsed down to $6 or $7, and then over 3,000. And see, you can buy it now, and maybe it keeps going up, but how much more money has to flow into Amazon stock to get it just to double? To go to over 6,000? I'm not saying it can't happen over some period of time. I don't know. I'm not researching that, to be honest with you. That's not as exciting an opportunity. The greatest gains that Amazon holders have ever seen, that's already happened. What I'm saying is now there's almost no money in crypto. And you might ask, okay, so if this is such a great solution, why isn't XRP being adopted more broadly and faster? Well, two primary reasons. Number one, it's not because of code, but it's liquidity. And I'm going to have to make an entirely separate video to talk about that, and I'm going to do it today, actually. There's comments from a Ripple executive that touch exactly on this, and that'll bring the point home. But liquidity is not something you can program into a cryptocurrency, and there's not sufficient liquidity with XRP or even Bitcoin, which has way more liquidity than XRP. There's not, even if you put up the entirety of crypto markets, my gosh, I don't even know if that'd be enough. I didn't actually crunch the numbers before that just popped in my head. I doubt it. Well, here, actually, you know what? Here it is, 24-hour volume. If this is right, what's that? 74 billion. Oh gosh, no, that's not even close. That's not even close. I already know that. Yeah, I'll be talking about that in another video today. 74 billion. That's not enough for some individual countries, and there are over 200 countries on the planet, depending on who you ask. Because not every country recognizes every single other country, so there's no firm answer. It's subjective. Isn't that funny? Subjective on how many countries there are. It just depends on who you ask. But it is what it is. And so the second reason, though, is regulatory clarity, which is, I think, probably an easier problem to fix than liquidity itself. Liquidity is just going to take time. That's just the whole market growing in tandem. So we'll see. But eventually, I believe that the most money will flow to where the value is, because value is different than price. You understand? When we talk about value, we're talking about what problems are being solved by a cryptocurrency. That's where the money flows, which increases price. It's just simple supply and demand. We're just not there yet. But I will sit here happily, patiently waiting for the rest of the world to figure it out. And I believe they will, just as they did with Amazon. I do believe that that's going to be figured out. And so I can understand the frustration, but with price being what it is. But once you understand the reasons why, it no longer makes sense to feel that way. I can understand why you'd initially feel that way, but then look into it, find out why it is, and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. We've seen history in the past. Like, humans just behave like this. Not the end of the world. Just outpatient everyone else. Here's a tweet from XRP community member Wrath of Kahneman, who I think puts out a bunch of insightful stuff and does quite a bit of research on his own. He shared the following with the community. He wrote, on this exact topic, he wrote, amazing, really. Tranglo enables on-demand liquidity utilizing XRP for all corridors. Tranglo connects in 25 countries, offices in 100. Of course, some corridors may only be one way, but a bit of crypto sunshine today. Then he also wrote, particularly curious to watch what happens with their connections into Egypt and Brazil. Then there was this from my fellow XRP YouTuber Crypto Eddie. She wrote, Alex Kong, founder and chairman of TNG FinTech Group, founded in 2013, the parent company of Tranglo. And so there's a little, I'm not going to play the clip, there's a clip that goes 1 minute and 23 seconds. And then she wrote, fast forward to 2021, with one Tranglo XRP on-demand liquidity corridor to 25 corridors in 2022. Now that's quite a flip of a switch. And so think about this. From one corridor, X number of months ago, to 25. Now that is something. Now most of the time when people will say flip the switch, they're thinking about the price of XRP just exploding something, and not that prices of crypto assets, not that they can't go parabolic. Obviously they can, and growth can increase exponentially. But just to be clear, there's not going to be a flip the switch moment where the whole world just suddenly magically replaces Swift. That is not how this works. But this is an important step. And that was quite you could use the term here, that makes sense. Flip of a switch? Sure. Sure. From one corridor to 25? Yes. And see, but so this is one of the largest firms doing this on that side of the planet. And it happened that quickly. And so again, there are going to be restrictions based on how much liquidity, how much people, how much is available for buying and selling. That in conjunction with what the price of XRP is, that those things matter. But it can still happen quickly, and then it'll garner more and more attention, and then there'll be more validity to what Ripple's doing. RippleNet and on-demand liquidity will expand. More usage of XRP, that affects supply and demand because it's got to be held somewhere if it's going to be ultimately be used for this use case. It is something, folks. There really is something to this. Then somebody responded to Crypto Eddie's tweet there and wrote, "And your SBI Katao son is only spending mouth vapors, only a single corridor, minuscule one. No use of being a shareholder." So here's somebody who has no patience and doesn't get the bigger picture, but Crypto Eddie dispatched to those those concerns, and she wrote the following in response to this individual. "Official SBI RippleNet corridor rails, which are on-demand liquidity ready/capable, same as Tranglo, are in Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, South Korea, just to name a few. Your comment looks very silly." And here is the image that she shared. The point is, things can happen very quickly, and that will matter in the future. I don't know when people will sufficiently value utility rather than just irrationally speculating. I'd like to have a greater blend of fundamentals mattering and real-world adoption mattering versus wild speculation. There will always be wild speculation, a bunch of idiots that don't know what the hell they're doing, just emotionally buying and selling. But I'd like to see more of the fundamentals, because given that XRP is one of the only cryptocurrencies functionally used for anything today, I think that would be rather beneficial. So, cool to see all this, is it not? This is why I've been excited for over 4 years. This is the type of stuff, real-world adoption of a cryptocurrency. It's almost non-existent, and here it is in spades with XRP. Isn't that something? And here we are paying attention to it when substantially less than 1% of humans on the entire planet have ever held XRP, even for a moment in time.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.